Everyone, welcome to episode 54 of the Priestess Rise Up transmission. I'm so delighted to be here with you. Welcome all of you who've been here before. Welcome any new people. Roxana, I see that you're here. Oh, hold on a second. I'm getting a message. Okay. It's saying there's an issue on Facebook. Great, but I think you can see me on YouTube. So let's just send the angels to heal up any technology issues. So if you're new to my work, my name is Lisa Espinosa. Hello, Summer. And I am a personal coach, and I help really highly sensitive women who are, most of them, mostly in the wellness profession, but not exclusively, who have a deep prayer in their heart, a deep longing, a deep intention to make the world a better place. I know that sounds like trite, but it really is. There's this prayer to heal the world, heal the planet, heal humanity, bring light to the world, be a way shower, be a beacon of light, bring unity consciousness into the earth, bring compassion into the earth, bring birth new paradigms, share their creativity and their caring and all of that, share their unique gifts with the world. So that's what I do. That's what I help my clients, my students, and everyone who's drawn to my work to do. And so these weekly transmissions are an opportunity for us to gather together and not only to, for me to share some practical things, which of course those are always important, but also to step into ceremony and to remember that everything you're here to share is coming from within you, right? It's coming from your beautiful soul, your true essence, your higher self. It isn't about the books you've read or the professional training you've received. All of that is helpful, of course, but really what you are here to share is your soul's medicine. It's who you are. It's made up of the experiences that you've experienced, the beautiful ones and the challenging ones, the ones that have, and when I say challenging, there's those big challenges, right, that come into our life. And then there's the little ones that we tend to minimize, but are actually big as well. So that's what I'm talking about. So when we gather together and we step into ceremony, it's for that to happen. It's an opportunity to receive nurturance from your soul, receive downloads from your soul, receive clarity, receive healing, so that you can share your medicine in a bold way. Because if you're here, if you're watching this, whether you're watching this live or watching the replay, it really, you're already sharing your gifts. I know that. It's not that I'm saying you're not sharing them, and now because you connected with me, you will. That's not the point. What is the point is to understand that our soul is always, 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 always guiding us to share more light, to expand more, because the need is so great, right? To really go deep within and mine the pearls of your medicine, the parts of your medicine that are so needed in the world, that most often we either dismiss because we don't think they're important enough, or they're buried under emotional wounds. Both of those, I feel like those are the main reasons we don't ever actually create this space to share them. So that's what this is about. And I'm just gonna check. There's a little message coming here. Yeah, it's still saying there's an issue on Facebook. Well, everyone on Facebook, come to YouTube. So that's why we're here. And the card I pulled for today's transmission is this beautiful card that says Raíces, roots. And so look at this beautiful human, right? There's these roots deep, deep in the beautiful purple, right? There's this opening that's happening, but these roots, this importance of grounding and rooting so that you can really be and share your medicine. Last week, I know we talked about you're not falling behind. And I feel like we're still extending that message and really helping us to really be in, like, really ground yourself in the moment that you're in right now. And, Guadalupe really wanted to be here today because I was getting flowers, I was getting all these other things, and nothing worked. I was just foiled every time I tried. So then I was like, okay, I feel like Guadalupe is the one that wants to be here. And of course that worked perfectly. And so I really feel like this energy of the Divine Mother, whether you connect with her as Guadalupe, as Mother Mary, as Kuan Yin, as just the Divine Mother, is really with us here and is really helping to bring you back to your center so that you can receive the next expansion of your soul's medicine. And so it's really easy on this path to search out there, right? Like, oh, what is it? Is it this? Is it that? Is it that? Like, I feel that, having landed here in a new country, building a new home here, for those of you who don't know, I used to live in Chicago. Now I'm living in Mexico. Yesterday was a month. We've been here a month. And so there's a lot of changes happening in my life. And I can feel my own medicine expanding. I can feel like, oh, I'm being guided and these deeper ways. But I don't know yet what it is. And so my ego structure and different parts of me keep wanting to like search. Oh, is it this? Is it this? Is it this? What about this? Let me try this. Let me try this. And that's like a very immature, and I'm not saying that judging myself. It's just on our spiritual journey, we can be spiritual infants, we can be spiritual toddlers, we can be spiritual teenagers, we can be until we're spiritual adults. And most of the time, we're cycling through different phases of those. And so it's very normal to, when we're actually being guided to go to the next level, things feel uncertain, things feel maybe messy, or things feel unclear, or you feel all this energy like you want to do stuff but you really don't know what it's supposed to be, or that place is just a sign that you're about to take a really big leap. And what will help you, and I feel like that's why Guadalupe really showed up today, the Divine Mother, it's like we need to have the maturity to have compassion for the parts of us that want to, like, oh, is it this, is it that, like, want to, or want to get busy, well, let me volunteer for this, let me do that, because we can't stand the discomfort of being still, of being in the unknown, when actually that's exactly what we need to do. And so that's what the message for today is like, really ground where you are right now, really land where you are in this moment, really let yourself feel the feelings that you have in this present moment, in this present time in your life. Let yourself be present. Let yourself witness whatever's coming up for you. And as you do that, right, as you step into that maturity of being in the stillness, then your soul can really communicate with you. It's like, in my book, Answering Your Inner Calling, I talk about one of the practices is committing to your soul. And I talk about how often we're in this stage of flirting with our soul. Like if you think about, if you were dating in the past, or maybe you're dating now, I don't know. But there's those relationships where it's more of a flirtatious relationship, right? It might be fun, it might be exciting, but there's no real commitment. And there's nothing wrong with that sometimes, there's relationships like that. But if you are watching this, if you're led to this, then you are really saying, oh, I want to commit to my soul. I don't want to just be flirting with my soul. I want to have a deep, committed relationship with my soul. And so imagine if this was a person that you met that you really admired or looked up to, or you felt like, oh my gosh, I feel such a resonance with this person. I really want to get to know this person. And this person was like, I want to get to know you too. But then instead of pausing and taking the time to listen and be present with this person, you were like just kind of flighty and like, what about this? What about that? Oh, let's, I only have a minute for you, or, like all the things we do with our soul. And so this is really this mature place. And that's why the Divine Mother comes. She's like the beautiful mother, right? The good mother that's like, all right, my child, take a few breaths. I know you're feeling all the expansion. I know your ego structure is freaking out because it wants to have the blueprint and it doesn't have the blueprint yet. I know it seems there's so much distraction out there. There's so many seductive things to like make you feel like you're being productive. And she's saying, but right now, what you need to do is root and ground and give yourself time every day to be in that place of stillness and commune with your soul. Like it's the teaching, right, that I've been sharing for years and years and years, slowing down to speed up, right? Slowing down to speed up. And I've so been feeling that, here because I've been sharing this since I've been here in Mexico. It's like, this is such an acceleration, right? Everything that comes with moving anywhere, but moving to a new country, definitely. And I want to speed up. I want to get everything settled and done, right? I want us to move into our permanent home. I want to have my office set up. I want to even like little mundane things like know where the best stalls in the mercado are for me to buy produce, like all these hundreds and hundreds of things. Like I want to know it now, and yet the message keeps being slow down, ground, root, connect to the earth, receive, allow. And when I have the spiritual maturity, the spiritual discipline to do that, to have compassion for my parts that are just doing the best they can, right? They're just like thinking like, okay, we just need to get really busy. And as I notice them and send them love and compassion and just remind myself like, nope, I need to slow down, breathe, receive from my soul. Then I'm receiving the exact steps for me to take, right? Then I'm led in these really unplanned ways to resources, connections that are supporting my life purpose. And so for you, I want to ask you, in this moment, think about where you're feeling stretched, where you're feeling an expansion, but perhaps you're feeling uncertain about what it is, or you're feeling like restless, or like either there's too much activity or there's not enough activity. Can I take a moment, everybody here and everyone watching the replay, take a moment to think about that, to just bring to your awareness if there's any feelings like that are coming up for you, if you've been noticing that. And feel free to share it in the chat or the comments. And see if you can identify what thought is creating that feeling of restlessness, or that feeling of franticness or urgency, or maybe you're feeling stagnant or stuck. Notice what thought. And I know last week I talked about the thought, I'm falling behind, I'm falling behind, I'm falling behind. And maybe that's still the thought for you. Maybe that's there. Or maybe it's, I have to figure it out. I have to figure it out. I have to figure it out. Is it this? Is it that? Or maybe it's, I'm going to miss it. I know I have, a lot of clients will come in with that. Like, I'm just afraid I'm going to miss my soul's message, that I'm going to miss it. And so I have to check. And maybe you have a thought that's like, I'm scared of what my soul might guide me to do. So maybe you're like, yeah, soul, talk to me. Not really. Like you might have that. I remember when my first book came out, Answering Your Inner Calling, I, did a lot of book talks and I shared the story of leaving my career as a teacher. And I remember how many times I had people afterwards say, your story was inspiring but it really scares me that my soul's going to tell me something like that. That I'm going to tune in, that I am going to hear my soul's guidance, that I am going to commit to my soul, and I'm going to hear something I don't want to hear. That my soul's going to say, quit your job or leave this relationship or, put yourself out there in a way that's scary or all the things. And so sometimes we have that kind of like, all right, so I'm listening to you, but we have our ears covered, right? So you might have that thought, like, I don't know if I'm ready to hear my soul's guidance. Some are saying, I have to figure it out what I need to do with myself next. Yes. Thank you for sharing that. And I want to go back to that, but let me just finish the thought. If you have the fear of hearing your soul's guidance, if you're afraid that your soul's going to guide you to do something you're not going to want to do, I want to reassure you that your soul guides you step by little step. When I heard my soul say it's time to leave, referring to my job, I had already been practicing listening to my soul for a while. I'd already listened to other little steps. Go join that yoga class, start a daily meditation practice. All these little steps came before that one. That's not where my soul began. So I want to reassure you, if you have that fear, that your soul knows your life, knows exactly what you're going through, and is not going to give you a message that's going to freak you out and paralyze you. So I wanted to share that. And then, yes, Summer, yes, I have to figure it out. What is next for me? And it feels like such a great question, right? What is next for me? Or I have to figure it out. And to an extent it is, right? It's better than um, I just want to stay stuck in my house and not do anything with my life, that. But I need to figure it out tends to bring a feeling. Well, in fact, Summer and anybody else who can resonate with that thought, think about what feeling comes up for you when you have the thought, I have to figure it out. Like for me, and I've been having a similar thought, Summer, in different ways, but that I have to figure it out. I have to figure out what's next for me in my work. Like I feel it. I feel my ancestors, my enlightened ancestors saying, Lisa, there's something new. There's something new. So I'm like, what is it? I have to figure it out. I have this like, and it's motivating up to a point. Then for me, it becomes urgency, like this like urgency. And I start to panic and I actually can't hear my soul's guidance. Right. So this reminds me, next week I'm going to do a 3-day masterclass called How to Follow Your Soul's Guidance, Take Action, and Have Your Own Back. And I'm going to share really, really practical teachings on how do we do that consistently. One of the ways is we have to notice our thoughts. Oh, some are saying kids are in college. First time I can do something that isn't around the kids. I was a young mom. I have never been an adult without kids. I so understand, Summer. So understand. As you know, and if you don't know, when we're watching this, I was a young mother as well. I had my oldest daughter at 19. And yeah, when my youngest son graduated last year, I mean, I have 5 children. So as they all, the first one left to college, then the next one left to college, and the next one left to college. It was a prolonged journey. But each time my nest got emptier and emptier and emptier until now, my baby graduated college. And so I know that, right? It's that like, oh my gosh, I felt that. Like I've never been an adult without kids. Like what is that like? And can I pause enough to really give myself the gift of allowing my soul to guide me at the pace that I need? That perhaps my parts don't think that's the right pace, but my soul knows. And for others of you who are watching, you can fill in the blank. It might not be the same situation that Summer described, but wherever you are, wherever you're feeling that expansion, that stretch, that uncertainty, the message for today that came through was really ground and root. Really, it's this place where you're not in the old and you're not in the new yet, right? Like that's how I feel. even though I've landed in the new country. Like, so I'm more on this world, but there's still so much, right? It's like, it's that in between place. And if there's anything I coach my clients through is these in between places. I really have come to understand it's one of my gifts because I've had to do it so much. And it's been so painful and uncomfortable for me. And many times in my life, this in between place is where we tend to sabotage and rush into action because we can't stand the discomfort. And so again, the Divine Mother is saying, pause, like this beautiful image that we got, right? Pause, ground, root. And I don't know if you can tell what this person's doing. It's like, I'm gonna say she's got her hand, it's like her hands on her third eye, right? There's this, like, to me, it's this like surrendering to our soul in a very grounded, rooted way. Can you, and I'm saying this to everyone at this summer, can you give yourself the gift that does require maturity, does require commitment, does require willingness? It's not as exciting as right away jumping into something new. It can feel kind of like a downer or kind of boring to be like, wait, I have to pause and ground. Wait, but I'm ready for all this stuff. But it's like, no, this is for this moment, the message. And so when we go into that place of stillness, into that grounded, rooted place, you're going to listen, right? I'm going to open the space, the ceremony, and you're going to receive. And if there's a part of you that's eager to get answers, send that part so much compassion, so much love, understanding. Of course, of course, of course. There's no judgment in that. And be the leader of your inner world and say, okay, I know that you really want all these answers. And that's okay that you want that. And then you, as the mature leader of your inner world, are like, and I'm going to stay open to receive whatever my soul understands is what will serve me best right now. That might be a very specific answer, specific guidance. Or it might be wait, pause, let yourself grieve some old stuff that you haven't had time to grieve. Let yourself acknowledge what a great job you've done all these years. Like, your soul, remember, wants you to share your gifts. Your soul's not trying to slow you down, but your soul knows if you don't do this now, you're going to get slowed down at some point, and then it's not going to be as pleasant because your soul's going to have to find a really dramatic way to slow you down so you can pay attention, right? I mean, how many of us have experienced that? Where we've been like, oh yeah, I need to slow down, but we don't. And then we get sick or something really random happens. And it's like, okay, my soul found a way to slow me down. And so rather than doing that, let's save time. Let's be efficient. Let's step into maturity and say, okay, you've got my attention, beautiful soul, because you know, your soul knows, your life knows exactly what you need much better than your personality, your ego, much better than anyone. So let's step into that place. So I invite you to take a few cleansing breaths. And as you do, bring your awareness to your heart. And then bring your awareness to your feet, your legs, your thighs, your hips, your pelvis. And I invite you to see roots, just like this beautiful image, with the roots that are just coming down underneath this beautiful person. And so I invite you to visualize the same, all these roots. And notice that as you recognize, as you pay attention to your roots, they become activated. They light up. They expand. And perhaps there's some roots that just drop, just kind of like release and dissolve. You're done with that part of your root system. You don't need that anymore. That dissolves into the earth to allow for new growth. And so really feel that groundedness. I invite you to feel a tree behind you, like you're leaning on this beautiful trunk of this big, beautiful willow tree. And the willow branches are cascading over, creating this beautiful canopy over you, but you're leaning on this tree and these roots are deep underneath you. And just let yourself arrive and be settled there. And as you do that, notice if there's any parts that are rushing, that feel like I don't have time to pause, I don't have time to stop, or have any sense of urgency. And just let them know, you know what, it's okay. It's okay that you're feeling those things. And right now, the guidance is to pause, ground, be open to receive your soul's guidance. And so I invite you now in front of you to visualize this beautiful spotlight. And in this spotlight, you start to see, it's almost like a movie projector, and you start to see a movie of your life. And your soul is showing you whatever chapters of your life are relevant. Maybe it's parenting your kids, or maybe it's in your career. Maybe she's showing you scenes from when you were a child. Just look. Whatever your soul is showing you is important for this moment. And as your soul shows you these scenes, ask, why are you showing me these? What am I meant to do with this? Are you being guided to celebrate it? To grieve something? To acknowledge all the hard work you've put in? Just notice, what is the message from your soul about this movie of your life that she's showing you? And know that your soul always answers you, even if you're not aware of the answers yet. And along with your soul, send those scenes so much love. And now your soul puts on another movie projector, and it's going to show you one scene from your future. It might be a whole scene. It might be just an image, a symbol, a color, a word. Say, beautiful soul, show me. What do you want to show me about my future path? About what's next for me? And let's be silent and receive whatever your soul wants to show you right now. And receive that image in your heart, whether you consciously saw it yet or not. Trust that it is there, and more will be revealed at exactly the right time. And so now, bringing the palms of your hands together, we bow to each other and our own heart. And we end with a namaste. Namaste, everyone. And so, if you want to share in the chat what came up for you, I saw my soul showed me scenes of the last few months, just all the craziness, all the steps, hundreds and hundreds of steps to get to this moment to be here, all the things that were required to move. That was what my soul showed me from the past. And then in the future scene, it was very interesting. It was a big, big tree with a lot of other details that I'm going to have to be with and sit with. And so, whatever came up for you, whether you saw it yet or not, trust again. This is spiritual maturity, right? This is how we become a disciple of our soul, right? That is what discipline is becoming a student of our soul, saying, okay, humbly to our soul, okay, you show me, you tell me. And so if you want to learn more, well, first of all, if you would like to schedule a free breakthrough consult with me, I would love, love, love to talk to you. You can go to my website. I'll also put a link in the description and schedule a consultation for us to talk about where you are right now and where is your soul guiding you next. And what are the steps to get there? How do you tend to your own heart as you take the steps to step into this next phase of sharing your gifts in a different way? And also next week is a free masterclass, How to Listen to Your Soul, Take Action, and Have Your Own Back. I'm going to show you a very practical, simple, efficient, powerful framework for you to follow so that this is something that you do consistently every day. Even if it's, little by little, that's fine, but that it's not like, oh, I was all committed to my soul. Then this thing happened and like 3 months passed by and I didn't, I kind of forgot about my soul for that time. That's where we can't afford that anymore. We're in accelerated times right now. And so I'm just going to pull one card and then we will be done. Let's see what. I apologize to Facebook. I don't know. It must have been something. It just kept giving me the message that it wasn't showing on Facebook. So I'll send the replay in the newsletter. All right. What's the message? Earth magic. So perfect with the rooted card. Fearlessness, removing obstacles. Look at this. Beautiful woman. She's on the horse. The full moon behind her, right? Completion. She's going galloping into this next stage. So to me, this is really like, this is what's happening as we slow down, as we listen, as we tune in. This is what's happening. Then we get to ride off into the future. All right. Bye, everyone. Thank you for being here. We'll see you next week for episode 55. Oh my gosh, double digits. I'm excited. All right. Bye, everyone. See ya.